which is an introduction. And in this section, you'll learn a little bit about who I am and what gives me the right to even talk about self-awareness. We'll also talk about what my objectives are for this course. So in other words, what I want you to get out of this course. We'll discuss what happiness even is. So I'll be defining exactly what I mean by the terms happiness and happy. We'll look at exactly what I mean by knowing yourself. And I'll also give you an overview of why knowing yourself is so fundamentally important to happiness, because it really is. Lecture 1. Introduction, my story and objectives. So hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, glass of water, maybe even a gin and tonic, and let's get cracking. And I'd like to start by just talking a little bit about me, not because I'm narcissistic and because I love talking about myself, but simply because I think it's important for you all to know who I am, where I've come from, and more importantly, how and why I know the things that I do. So starting with the basics, I'm currently an area manager working for a travel money company. I'm also very entrepreneurial. I wouldn't say I'm a natural born entrepreneur, but I definitely have entrepreneurial traits and entrepreneurial tendencies. And that's one of the reasons that I enjoy my current job as area manager so much, because I really do enjoy it. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had in terms of how happy it makes me. And that's because it allows me to be entrepreneurial. It's very independent. I have a lot of control over how I achieve my objectives. I have a lot of control over my own schedule from day to day. And I don't have a boss breathing down my neck. And that's a good example of me applying my own self-awareness and my own knowledge about myself to actually enable me to get a good job. Because I knew I would enjoy this job, because I knew it would suit the kind of person that I am. I've done enough right in my life to make me very happy, and I've done enough wrong to make me a great teacher. I've had lots of incredible experiences, and I also have lots of hobbies and interests that make me very happy, and I've also achieved many things that have also made me very happy. But I've also done enough wrong to make me a great teacher. I've had my fair share of failures, and I've had quite a bit of challenge and adversity, especially in more recent years, and that's allowed me to learn so much about myself, but also so much about life and about happiness in general. And of course, I want to teach you a lot of the stuff I've learned specifically here about knowing yourself and self-awareness as a gateway to happiness. I'd like to now just move on and tell you a little bit about a story that began in 2007. In 2007, I started investing and trading in financial markets. I just did this on the side away from my normal job, which at the time was working for a wine company. And I was good at it. I was good at investing and trading. I learned how to do it properly. And for the next few years, I made good money, slowly and steadily, from what you might call the proper professional practice of disciplined investing and trading. But about 5 years later, I started to take on more and more risk in the financial markets. In hindsight, that was an escape from my marriage and my life, because I was about to go through a divorce. But whatever the reason, the fact is, I went from investing and trading properly until eventually I was just completely gambling on the markets. I still thought I was just trading, but I was completely gambling. And to cut a much longer story short, this completely destroyed my life. I eventually lost everything, and more, if that's even possible. I lost, for example, all my money, which at the time was a lot. I lost both my houses. I lost some of my friends' money, some of my family's money. I even got £70,000 into debt, and I was sleeping in my car because I couldn't afford rent, and I didn't want anyone to find out what had happened to me. As you can imagine, I was a mess. So to summarise, in 2015, I was sleeping in my car, £70,000 in debt, and as you can imagine, a mental, emotional and financial mess. The next few years, right up to the present day, were all about recovering and rebuilding. Obviously, my first focus was to recover my life, especially mentally, emotionally and financially. And then, of course, it was about rebuilding my life in every area. Again, mentally, emotionally, financially, but also in my career, relationships, lifestyle, everything. And because of that experience, but also because of other things I've been through in my life and experienced, good and bad, I now know myself on a level like never before. I've invested a lot of time, not to mention trial and error, into fully knowing myself and understanding how I've achieved this level of self-awareness. because not only do I have a high knowledge of self-awareness now, and not only do I know myself very well, I'm also the happiest I've ever been. And I want to share some of the principles and lessons that I've learned about self-awareness and knowing yourself, and of course how you can apply that to yourselves to make yourself happier. This is a picture of and a quote from a guy called Tony Nadal, who is actually the uncle and former coach to the legendary tennis player Rafael Nadal. And the quote goes, "Al final, el éxito en la vida es ser feliz." Now please excuse my Spanish, but roughly translated, what that means is, in the end, true success in life is to be happy. And I've included that quote because it's just one of my favourite quotes about happiness, and I passionately believe it to be true. And the theme of that quote, about true success being about happiness, is something that crops up in a lot of the work that I do. As for the goal of this course and what I want you to get out of it, at the end of this course you will understand why knowing yourself is so important. You'll know yourself better than you did before. You'll understand the kind of exercises to do in order to continue and accelerate your journey of self-awareness. And you'll also be ready to actually apply self-awareness to your life, specifically in a way that's designed to make you more intentional, more productive, and most importantly, more happy. And when I say more intentional, I mean living your life in a way in which you do things with the specific intent of getting what you want in life, getting you to where you want to be in life, and creating the joy, fulfillment, and happiness that you deserve, as opposed to just drifting through life aimlessly or living a life that isn't really the one you wanted. And this course packs everything that I've learned about self-awareness into a course that's designed to help give you the foundations to build a life that you can be proud of, with happiness as the barometer of success. Now, most of the time I'll be using straightforward slides and voiceover to make my points and to help you with your learnings, but there will also be some direct-to-camera videos explaining certain things, so you'll get to see my lovely face. There'll also be some exercises to do, like quizzes and questions to answer. Please do make sure that you do those, because that will ensure that you get the most out of this course, and ideally do them during the course. And I'll also give you a couple of recommended readings in terms of books that I recommend. Now, you don't have to read those during the course. I'm just recommending those if you want to learn a bit more about the subject that I'm talking about. But I'll recommend them with the intention that you read them at some point in the following weeks and months in order to continue your progress and development.